In PMP 5th edition, there are a total of 10 knowledge areas and 5 process groups. I will start with the first knowledge area, that's called the project integration management. And this particular knowledge area is the only knowledge area where you will find processes in each of the group. So you will find a process in initiating process group, you will find a process in in planning process group, you will also find a process in executing process group, monitoring and control process group, as well as the closing process group. So first, the very first process is in initiating process group. So if you look closely at the initiating process group, the first process is the develop project charter. So here in the screen you will see that the different inputs that used for developing the project charter. So first input is project statement of work. So this is the SOW kind of contract between your customers and the project performing organizations. Then you have the business case that will actually tells you the necessity of doing the project. Then enterprise environmental factors. This we know that there are different kinds of organization, like matrix organization, functional organizations, or there are different external environment factors. So all these factors we need to take into considerations while doing a project charter. Then we have different kinds of agreements as well, and the organizational process assets. That's actually the lesson learned from the previous. Now all these inputs process through two tools and techniques. So one of the main tools and techniques that you will find in most of the process is expert judgment, and that is the set of experts who will give their own judgment based on their experience. And there is also facilitations techniques that will that there is a kind of facilitations technique, and by which you will get your final product for the process is the project charter. So one of the things you need to remember is the output is made for a definitive purpose, and project charter has its own purpose. This actually gives you the authority as a project manager to use organizational resources, and this is actually formal acceptance of the project manager for the project. It also have a kind of brief description on the project. So you will find a couple of description in the project charter that will actually help you to proceed with the next phase of your project. So planning is one of the important process group, and in the integration knowledge area, the planning process group has the develop project management plan. So project management plan actually consists of different subsidiary plans. So as you go with the different knowledge areas, you will find that each knowledge area will have its own management plan, and those are called the subsidiary management plan. So your project management plan will consist of all the subsidiary plans, the baseline, the cost baseline, the scope baselines, and schedule baselines, as well as it will consist of the methodologies that you will be using in your project. So here also the tools and techniques are expert judgment and facilitations technique, and your output will be the project management plan. And once this plan is approved, you cannot actually change anything on your project until you goes through the change control board. Now you are in executing process group, where you have a process direct and manage project work. Here actual project work takes place, and you will get your inputs as a project management plan, which you already prepared in the planning process. And then you have the approved change request. So this approved change request is a very important thing here, because as I said earlier, that you cannot actually change anything once your project management plan is approved until you go through the change control board. So once your change control board approves the change request, then that approved change request comes here for executions and implementing that in the project. So that is one of the input here. So other than project management plan, you will also have the approved change request. Then again, the enterprise environmental factor and the organization process asset are the two inputs. The tools and techniques used here also: expert judgment, project management information system, and different meeting will give you the final deliverables for the project. You may also find out some of the, while executing the project, you may also find out some of the things that you cannot actually implement right away as mentioned in the project management plan. So your change request will come here. Then you will get your project management plan updates, and the project document gets updated as you proceed with your deliverables. So last output is the work performance data. This is nothing but your raw observations of your work performance. So work performance data is just the raw observations what you are doing in your project. So in monitor and control process group, you have two processes here. One is monitor and control project work. So one important thing is to notice here is the inputs here is mostly the output of other monitor and control processes for the other knowledge areas. For example, apart from project management plan, enterprise environmental factor, organization process asset, you will also see the schedule forecast. So schedule forecast is output of control schedule. Cost forecast is the output of control cost. Validated changes, the output of control quality. And work performance information is pretty much output of all the control monitor and control processes, where this is actually the comparison of your work performance data with your planned or benchmark data. So these are the inputs for the monitor and control project. And expert judgment, analytical technique, project management information system, and meetings, by these tools and techniques, you will get your output from the process. So here also one of the output is change request, because you will find that something is not going as per the plans, or some process needs to be improved or something like that. So you will get definitely a change request from here. And then you will get a work performance report. So what is work performance report? So you till now got the work performance data. So that was the raw observations. You also got the input as a work performance information. That was a comparison of your data with your planned data. So now you want to record it in a hard copy or a soft copy. So that record is called a work performance report. So your project management plans also get updated here. Your project document also gets updated. Second process is monitor and control is perform integrated change control. As I said that you cannot change anything apart from going through a change control board. So your change control board actually comes into picture in this process area. So in monitoring control process for the project integration management, you will get a perform integrated change control process. So inputs to this process is project management plan. All the change requests is created in executing and monitoring control process. Then you also need your enterprise environmental factor and organizational process asset. Then you will also get the work performance reports. So just to notice here is that report you just created before in the monitoring and control project work is coming as an input to the monitoring perform integrated change control. So here tools and techniques are expert judgment, change control tools, and meetings. So by that you will get project management plan update, project document gets updated, and you get the approved change request. This is one of the key output of this process is approved change request. So you can get approved or rejected change request here. and as you get a change request approved or rejected, your change log, where you are actually logging what all changes throughout your project, is also gets updated here. So change log is one of the output here. So now you are coming to the closing process group. So in this process group you have the close project or phase process. So input to this process is project management plan, then accepted deliverables. So here these accepted deliverables is the deliverables that customer already accepted. So when you go to the scope management, you will find that the validate scope is one of the process where customer actually validate the scope of the deliverables and they accept or reject it. So you will get the accepted deliverables once customer accepted your deliverables and they are satisfied with the planned and the requirements they provided. And you will also have input organizational process asset. So taking these inputs, you will go to the tools and techniques of the expert judgment, analytical technique and meeting, and finally the output of the process is final product or service or result transitions. So you can actually close your phase or project here. The term I use close project and phase because for a large project you will probably subdivide your project into multiple phases, and if you divide it in the phases, each phase will carry out all the process groups starting from initiating to closing. So each phase will also have the similar process close phase. So and you will perform exactly the same thing you are doing for a project. So that's it for the project integration management. I'll see you in the next process or knowledge area. Thank you.